Hmm. I just have one major complaint for Lenovo right out of the box. I ordered a custom white laptop, but this thing looks a bit yellow tinted, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Hold on. Ah, there it is. And that is exactly what this channel is intended for. No filters, completely honest videos. Because honestly, is it possible to find a laptop that can handle 15 hours of architectural pressure, power a BIM consulting business, and still let you crush AAA games on the weekend without melting on your desk? After months of agonizing research, I finally found it. But getting it in this custom Glacier white, that was a whole different challenge. Hey everyone, my name is Sumit. I am the founder and principal architect of Om Ventures. Welcome to my very first YouTube video. Today, we are reviewing and breaking down my brand new Lenovo Legions Pro 7. We are going to talk specs, why I didn't buy a MacBook, and how the massive price difference between the US and Indian models almost made me sad. Also, interestingly enough, I searched everywhere and couldn't find a single review of this custom Glacier white model with the RTX 5070 Ti anywhere online. So you might actually be watching this for the very first time. Before we jump in, you need to know why I bought this beast. My life is a 50-30-20 split. 50% entrepreneurship, running my firm, and heavy workflows using Revit, AutoCAD, SketchUp, Rhino, Premiere Pro, and other architectural softwares. 30% is faculty work, teaching architectural software in college and through my private coaching program. And the last 20% pure gaming. AAA titles, FIFA, Rocket League, you say it and I will try it. For years, I ran an HP Envy laptop with an i5 4th gen and a GTX 8050M since 2016. Alongside it, a desktop that I built back in 2017 with an i5 8400 and GTX 1060. The desktop is still a trooper, but the modern rendering and the portability I need right now, it's officially obsolete, especially with respect to software support. I also almost considered building a custom desktop with an Ultra 7 270K Plus, which I was about to get from the US market for 33,000 Indian rupees from my friend late this November. Of course, Parth, if you're watching this, I may hit you up soon for the same again. Paired with an RTX 5070 Ti, I estimated that build to cost around 2.5 lakhs rupees in total, considering all the parts. But I needed a system right now which had portability. So I looked into some other laptops like the Asus Zephyrus G16, the ROG Flow, the ROG Strix, Dell Alienware, Acer Predator, and many more. Some lacked the CPU performance, some the GPU, and a few I just hated the overall design. I almost considered buying the ROG Flow. The Flow has an amazing form factor, but for 12 to 15 hours of heavy workloads, I think it will thermal throttle. And then there are the holy MacBooks. At this price point, I really wished and wanted to have an M5 Pro MacBook. But as an architect who uses Revit for my bread and butter, let me save you some pain. If your software doesn't work natively, you're basically getting into a foreign relationship that is only meant for the current version of you. Future upgrades, especially Autodesk Revit, which updates constantly, are quite bad for your happily married life with Revit. Keep it native, keep it Windows. Lenovo's naming scheme can be a maze. At the bottom, you have the LOP series for budget gaming, then the Legion 5 and 5i for mainstream use. Next is the slightly thicker Legion Pro 5 and 5i. Above that, the beautiful all metal thin and light Legion 7 and 7i. Then you hit my tier, that is the Legion Pro 7, and at the very top is the ultra expensive liquid cooled Legion 9. A quick tip, the number only variants or those with a A, for example 7A, are the AMD variants. The one with the I, like the 7i, are the Intel variants. Why the Pro 7 over the thinner standard 7? Thermals. Cramping Top tier specs into a thin chassis is a thermal throttling nightmare. I need the one that handles long renders without breaking a sweat. So here I am, finally settling with the beast. Inside the box, you get the laptop and massive power brick. They also threw in a free backpack and a gaming mouse. So what we have here is the package right after the delivery. I would say not right after the delivery because this package was delivered like 4 days ago on 6th, but I was out of town, so it took me some time to get to this package. And right now, I'm getting to get it out of this packet. And as you can see here, there are a few instructions on the back, but let me just get through it and who follows instructions anyway. Let's just open this up. And the laptop is here. We'll have a quick look at the quick unboxing. Before that, I also want to show you some other parcels that I got with this. That is the Lenovo mouse and the Lenovo backpack, which is this one, the Legion backpack. The first thing that I get to see is the documentations. Of course, I'm going to throw it away. Next is the charging brick. Okay, this is a massive charging brick, as I can see. All the detailed specs and review I'm going to do it later. And here is the bad boy, the Legion 7 Pro or the Legion Pro 7, packed in this good foam. And that's it for the box. And let's quickly check what's inside the mouse. Few more documentations. And the mouse itself. And there is an adapter type C to USB adapter. And that's it with the mouse. Oh wait, there is one additional charging wire at the top, quick overview of the backpack. The mouse is actually really good and lightweight, but for my daily architectural workflow, I will definitely stick to my Logitech MX Master 3S. Let's talk about the chassis. It is machined entirely from a premium aluminum alloy, coated in this stunning custom Glacier white. I am a fan of it. Visually, it feels like a hybrid between an Alienware and a Lenovo professional workstation. Thanks to the extended back section and the aggressive RGB underglow. Honestly, I absolutely love the flat top and the overall robust build of this laptop. And do not confuse this chassis with the thinner Legion 7i. You can immediately spot the difference by looking at the back. The Pro 7 has significantly larger, far more aggressive rear exhaust vent to push out the heat from those 15 hours of load. When you open it, you see the massive air intake mesh right above the Legion True Strike keyboard. The speakers are tucked cleanly on the bottom side, delivering solid audio for a Windows machine. Although I typically use a setup with an external keyboard and mouse, this laptop's keyboard is a huge personal preference for me because it has features like a dedicated number pad. When you are punching in those dimensions in Revit and AutoCAD all day, a numpad is an absolute lifesaver. Below that is a massive, incredibly smooth precision glass trackpad. The RGB is fully customizable by the Lenovo Space software for perky lighting, and right in center you have the power button LED which physically changes color based on your thermal modes. Hit FN plus Q and it switches from blue for white mode to white for auto to red for all out performance mode. But let's be real about portability. This laptop itself weighs around 2.8 kg. Add in that massive 400 watts power brick and your travel weight jumps to roughly 3.8 to 4.1 kg. This isn't an ultrabook. It is a full desktop replacement. Because this is a desktop replacement, the port layout is insane. Before jumping into the ports, let's talk about this canvas, this gorgeous display. Lenovo completely leveled up this generation. They ditched the traditional IPS screens and packed this with a stunning 16-inch WQXGA OLED display. It has 2560 by 1600 resolution with a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. As an architect, that extra vertical space is an absolute game changer when you are scrolling through massive property schedules in Revit or managing layers in AutoCAD. Because it is an OLED panel, you get infinite contrast ratio with deep true blacks, display HDR 1000 true black, and it covers 100% of DCI-P3 color gamut at 500 nits of brightness. That means when I send a final high resolution architectural render to a client, I know the lighting, shadows, and material finishes are 100% color accurate. And for that 20% of my life dedicated to gaming, this glossy OLED panel packs a blistering 240Hz refresh rate. Playing AAA titles on this screen is just completely unfair to the competition. Now there are actually no ports on the back of this laptop. I'm going to be honest. That is personally a bit of a bummer for me because I love stealthy back ports for a clean setup. But looking at those massive rare thermal exhaust, I completely understand why Lenovo had to move them. Instead, everything is packed on the sides. On the left, you get your main charging port, an HDMI 2.1 port, a USB Type-C that supports 140 watts power delivery, a Thunderbolt 4 Type-C port, and a USB-A. On the right, you get an audio jack, two more USB-A 3.1 ports, and the e-shutter switch for the webcam, which is a software-based skill switch, not a physical slider. But what I really love about the right side is the built-in Ethernet port. I use wired internet daily for better connectivity. So having this built-in saves me for using a hanging dongle. I absolutely hate dongles and messy wires. When my architect OCD kicks in, I need my setup to be as clean as possible. And this port setup delivers it. Now let's talk real specs because this is where a lot of people get scammed by marketing. This laptop is rocking the Intel Core Ultra 9 275HX, which features 24 cores and 24 threads. That breaks down into 8 performance cores designed for heavy single threaded bursts like gaming and active 3D modeling, and 16 efficient cores designed to handle multitasking, background rendering, and overall system efficiency. This processor is paired with the mobile version of the NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti, packing 12 GB of VRAM and a maxed out total graphic power of 140 watts and 32 GB DDR5 6400 MHz RAM, which is the sweet spot for productivity and gaming. Okay, come here and listen carefully. Do not confuse this Intel processor with the newer Intel Panther Lake 300 series CPUs. While those new 300 series chips are great for power efficiency and AI workflows, they lack the raw, unadulterated horsepower needed for heavy 3D rendering. The HX at the end of the 275 means this is a true desktop class power hungry monster. And please don't get me started on AMD. AMD decided to slap the HX tag on the new Ryzen AI chips, but in their lineup, it actually means it is a power efficient chip. AMD is just terrible at naming things. If you want raw, unthrottled power for rendering, Intel's true HX is the way to go. Speaking of marketing scams, let's look at this GPU. The laptop RTX 5070 Ti is actually not the same silicon as the desktop 5070 Ti. The desktop 5070 Ti uses NVIDIA's larger GB203 die, but this laptop version it uses the smaller GB205 die, which is exactly the same as the desktop 5070 non-Ti uses. NVIDIA just loves playing name schemes. The good news is that Lenovo maxed out the total graphics power or TGP on this machine to its absolute limit of 140 watts. That means you are squeezing every single frame possible out of this chip without power starvation. In fact, this 140 watts mobile RTX 5070 Ti performs almost identical to a full desktop RTX 4070 or desktop RTX 5060 Ti. Overall, this CPU and GPU combo is basically equivalent to having a full desktop Core i9 or the desktop Ultra 9 285K paired with a desktop 4070 or 5060 Ti. And one last thing, let me explain why this exact machine is so rare and why you won't find it sitting on a shelf at your local electronics shop. This is a fully custom, configured to order, built directly from Lenovo. While the blazing fast Wi-Fi 7 came pre-installed on this model, I went in and manually selected some major upgrades to fit my exact needs. I upgraded to the custom Glacier white chassis. I also bumped up the camera to a 5 megapixel version with dual microphones for my coaching calls and maxed out the battery to the massive 99.9 watt hour cell, which is the legal flight limit you can take on an airplane. Because of these specific choices, I had to wait about 1 week and a half for delivery. I actually went ahead and chatted with the Lenovo team directly on WhatsApp, and they confirmed that these custom builds are assembled fresh at the factories in China or in Malaysia. You literally cannot buy this exact configuration right off the shelf. So let's talk about the price of this Legion. I have to be completely honest here. If you have someone in the US, you can get this for you. Which parts you didn't? Buy it from there. A similar variant in the US costs around $2,200, which is roughly 2 lakh INR. For the exact price I paid here in India, you could buy the maxed out 64 GB and 2 TB storage version in the States. But since I bought it here, I had to use some tricks. First, I used my college ID via Share ID for a student and teacher discount. Next, I maxed out the extended warranty, locking in 3 full years of accidental damage protection and 3 years of Legion Ultimate support. Finally, I bought this on finance. Standard EMI added a 16% interest rate, but after contacting Lenovo support, they stated on record that 15 days after delivery, they will refund the entire interest amount directly to my credit card. Always chat with the support. This machine is an absolute powerhouse. Since this is my first video, what do you want to see next? A deep dive into the Revit performance, AAA gaming test? Drop your suggestion down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.